Yeah. Unknown Brain. Marvin Divine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
I know that I gotta stay away from all your games, yeah. I know that I found somebody else to love me one day, yeah. You'll realize the grass ain't greener on the other side, no. You did me dirty for the last time, so now I gotta say goodbye. So now I gotta say goodbye.
Yeah, my life is lovely now, I'm focused on me. You said you were about to die, I guess the car is on E. But see, I ain't even tripping, cause I just chose to believe that somebody gon' come around and give me just what I need. I don't wanna see you crying, see you looking down and out, coming to me crying, saying you miss having me around. Gave you chances and you blew it, you so easily influenced. All the times you told me beat it, now you gotta face the music. I'm saying
I know that I gotta stay away from all your games, yeah. I know that I found somebody else to love me one day, yeah. You'll realize the grass ain't greener on the other side, no. You did me dirty for the last time, so now I gotta say goodbye. So now I gotta say goodbye.
yeah. Unknown Brain. Marvin Divine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
I know that I gotta stay away from all your games, yeah. I know that I found somebody else to love me one day, yeah. You'll realize the grass ain't greener on the other side, no. You did me dirty for the last time, so now I gotta say goodbye.
Yo. Hope everybody's having a good Friday. It's been quite the interesting day today, kind of all over the place. I'm excited to get to it here for the market recap. Also, like, subscribe, ring the bell, do all that stuff so that you guys get notified when I go live. I've got a bunch of videos coming out for members, and then I also have tonight I'll be on with Tanner from Future Investing. We'll be talking about Robinhood. That's going to be cool. That's at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. And then on Monday at 4 p.m. Central Time, or 3 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. Eastern, I'll be with Tom Nash. Biggest channel yet. Really cool dude. Love him. So that should be a lot of fun too. And then in the future, I don't know. I've got to work it out, but I might appear with Invest Answers and James. So he's asked me it like 3 times. So I'm gonna try and take him up if the offer is still good. I was kind of a coward before. Was just starting my YouTube channel, so I didn't want to do it. But I think that's changed. I think I've gotten used to it. So we're probably gonna do something with him too. And then who knows where it goes from there. The more the merrier. All right, start off. So here's, for anybody who's new here, here's how we roll. We go through my portfolio first. I try to be transparent. I'll show you the trades that I did for the day. I'll show my different accounts, my main accounts. I give you like 95% of what I have. I do not give my personal Bitcoin holdings that are on a hardware wallet. I don't touch that stuff. You'll never know what that is, okay? You'll never know where that is or what it is. But let's look at the account. So we start off with the portfolio account. Then we'll move into like indices and kind of looking at broader markets and talking about some of the key metrics that have happened there for the day. Then we'll move into economic data. And then we move into the chart segment where I do my stuff first. And then after that, I take chart requests from members. If you want to chat, to get rid of bots, spam, and haters, just people that like to trash talk, it's members only for chat. And you could chat for as little as $2.99 a month. But again, I find that haters won't give me $3 a month to talk shit. So it seems to work out pretty good. Anyway, on to the portfolio allocations. So today, CleanSpark, obviously kind to me, up $48,000 on that portion of my account. Bitfarms was pretty good too. Hood was kind. I sold out of a lot of that. Kind of wish I would have kept some of it. Everybody makes mistakes. Plus, I want to start to dial out of some of my calls. Right now, for positioning, I'm not in leaps for anything crypto related, and I'm trying to dial out of some of these others. I want to get big payouts. Only got about 300% on Hood. It's up a little bit more now. It looks like 362%. So that's cool. Hopefully those keep going up. But so far out of the stuff I cashed out, I'm only up about 300% on realized gains. Mara did really good today. MicroStrategy did. I don't have a lot in this account, but I also own this in like 4 other accounts. PayPal made some money today. Who knew that was possible? We were up almost 1%. It's crazy, I know. SoFi, people might have thought I was stupid the other day. Some of these numbers might shift around in the top too. Just realize that it takes about another half an hour for options contracts to settle. So it'll bounce around. Between all my accounts today, I'd say I made about $170,000, maybe $175,000, but that final number isn't out yet. But SoFi, I made 30 grand a day off the contracts. I bought really heavily on this one over the last several days when it had dropped earlier in the week because of their $750 million offering that was really going to get utilized in 2029, a long time from now. So I don't care about share dilution in 5 years. It means nothing to me. The whole world is going to be a lot different by that time. Square up a lot today, but again, I sold out of most of this. Probably prematurely on that one too, but I just want to feel better about my positioning, and I really wanted to get into crypto. I really wanted to buy more Tesla shares, and I really wanted to buy more SoFi and other things that interest me that haven't run yet. Square is still really good, and I think it's getting ready to do another breakout, but it is up like 120% or something. And Hood's had a pretty good run too. So again, I try not to be greedy. I'm a pretty cheap bastard, even though I made 700% last year. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm pretty conservative. People asked me when I went to Vegas last week, or over the weekend, last weekend, they asked if I was going to gamble. I don't gamble. I know this might sound insane for somebody who does options and everything else, but I don't like betting on things where I can't control the outcome. So I don't gamble. Anyway, bought a bunch of Tesla today. Not a bunch, but some. I was hoping more would execute, but it didn't drop enough. So, like, what do you do? I do still think that Tesla's going to drop. I'll show you something real quick here before I jump into the rest. I normally don't do this, but I just want to show it to you. We haven't quite hit this downward support line. I wouldn't be shocked at all if Tesla makes it down to like 169 to 165 before we start to bounce. I really wouldn't be shocked one bit. Hey, thanks, Wes, for joining. Thank you to everybody who's joined as a member. It is very much appreciated. You guys are cool. All right. My portfolio. I normally don't show the pie chart. I just updated it today. Again, made a couple trades, so the Tesla's gotten a hair bigger. Maybe it's closer to 9% now. But this is pretty much it. CleanSpark is my big winner right now. It's my largest position because it's went up a lot. And then the altcoins, or as I affectionately call them, shitcoins, are right behind. And they're probably going to be my number one holding. And the only reason why, it was a very small portion of my portfolio, but they operate on a multiple that's insane. So I expect this to actually be the largest single holding in my portfolio soon, especially if you combine ETH and my altcoins. You've already got like 18%. So technically it's already my largest holding. I expect that to get a lot bigger. Again, one of my altcoin portfolios up 61% in a month. Pretty good. 20% on Bonk today. Let's see what else we got here. Everything else was kind of mild. 8% on Say. Nothing too crazy. Just kind of grinding a little bit. These have run up a lot. If you look here today, you can see that we're back to frogs and dogs. That's the latest, whatever. It's crypto. But if you go back a week, you can see that on top of frogs and dogs, it was really everything, right? So like there's a lot of stuff that's making money. And if you go back to a month, it's just like all green. Look at this. If you own Pepe, this stupid frog, you would have made 900%. Or this stupid, it's kind of a cute dog. But 1,238% in a month. Floki. Viking dog. I don't know what this crap is, man. I do own some of this crap. I own Doge. And I own, what's the other one? Bonk. Bonk and Doge. Right over here. This little Barker over here. Because I'm conservative with my shitcoins. Anyway, enough of the trash. Let's move on. Let me refresh you real quick to make sure that FinViz has all of the latest stuff. So I actually kind of like today. Today was pretty cool, man. I dig that the chips got bit because they can only go up. So they got to take a breather. You know what I mean? Like, can we get a retrace on NVIDIA? Or is it just going to 3,000? Like, can we figure some stuff out here? So I love the fact that the chips and like the semiconductor equipment materials, they all got a little crushed today. I love the fact that the technology software side got ate up a little bit today. I just like that there was this diversification in what was getting destroyed, and we were seeing money flow into financials for a change and real estate. I mean, that's pretty bullish. People are buying real estate stocks. So I don't know. I really like what happened today. Tesla down, cool. I think that's good too. I like the broader market though. I was really excited about it. And here's another reason why. The NASDAQ was down like 1.46%. Is that where it closed? 1.53. So it actually sold off a little more into the day. The S&P down 0.61%. But here's what I like. The Russell 2000, the small caps, market breadth was down 0.07. So it was basically not down on the day. And then the Dow Jones Industrial, which again is like some of the base of the economy, also flat. So really what we saw high flyers take a break. I don't hate that at all. I think that's super healthy. This seems like a healthy market, and I'll show you other economic data. The only thing that maybe concerns me is the unemployment numbers, but I don't think that those are going to be as bad as people think. And I'll give a real brief summary of why. I've said this before, so I'll try not to keep it too long. Fear and greed index. We are back in greed, kind of a healthy number. Again, I've said this for a while, but I like this little desk that we've set up here, this little tabletop. It's not like your typical rounding and falling down. It's just, if anything, it's curling up. It's curling up. Look at this. It wants to go higher. And some people, so here's the thing. When you've been kicked in the nuts and punched in the face for a year and a half in the markets, longer if you've been on the wrong side of it for that amount of time, you get conditioned to losing, right? Like that, it becomes a mental condition. It can be a disorder. It can cause you massive loss. in markets because you get so used to losing that that's all you see anymore. You only see the bad, you don't see the good. And so people have probably been afraid this entire time since December 15th that we were in extreme fear. And what has the market done in that time? It's went straight up. So So again, these technical indicators that we have are only as valuable as the fundamental and the macro environment that they exist within. All right, real quick. I don't know if I can do this, but I'm going to try it. They need to monetize me, whatever. I don't care. We're going to listen to Funstrat today. He appeared on CNBC about 1:30. I want to hear what he has to say and then comment on it.
Today's intraday action may be a little bit disconcerting for some. Is the leadership still intact, though, for the markets overall?
Dom, I think it's a good question because the market is extended and it is a mature rally. We're going to be entering our 20th week next week, but I think we should be giving the stock market the benefit of the doubt. So today, stocks are wobbling. Not a surprise that there is some profit taking. We did actually have a good jobs number, so I'm probably saying one eyebrow is raised because we're selling off on good news. But with margin debt where it is, and I think the earnings backdrop being so strong and the Fed confirming that they're leaning towards cuts this year, I think the backdrop, as you noted earlier, is still very good for equities.
What exactly is going to drive that? We've talked about this idea. It could be underlying earnings growth. It might be the idea of people paying more for that dollar of earnings expected, multiple expansions, so to speak. What's the big tailwind that you see coming up for the markets overall?
It's really all three. I think there is upside to earnings. Earnings beat by 7% in the first quarter, so you're already one quarter in. If consensus is 245, well, that means there could be $10, $15 of upside for just this year on earnings alone. On risk premia, which is what you should put as a PE multiple. Well, if the Fed starts cutting and the economy's resilient, the PE is only 15 times ex-FANG. And the third is really flows. There's still $6 trillion of cash on the sidelines. Margin debt is barely budged. It's below where it was in October 2023, which was just a few months ago. So I don't think investors are necessarily that risk on. I mean, I know the market is technically overbought, but Mark Newton, our head of technical strategy, says you don't really want to be, using an overbought as actually a sell signal because strong markets stay strong.
Tom, you mentioned the idea that leverage isn't what it used to be at points in the past. Does that take a massive market decline off the table? And if we did get a decline, how big in your mind could it be?
Dom, for now, I think it does mitigate downside because when leverage is low, like margin debt at the NYSE, it means investors aren't long, yet the backdrop is improving, so that means they have to use these pullbacks as chances to get long. But at the same time, we expect an air pocket in the first half, something like 7% or more. It's just that there's so many top callers now that I think that's why there's still gas in the tank on this rally.
All right, and last question. We have a few moments. The favorite part of the market for you, given the current valuation?
Well, there's what I think are 5 things that are working this year. I don't want to talk about all 5, but to me, we know that technology and FANG, including NVIDIA, are working because of AI. And I think that's also pulling up, the miners and Bitcoin because they are kind of correlated trades. The second thing that seems to be working are things that are related around Ozempic and reducing weight loss because of the productivity benefit to workers. But to me, the third, maybe most interesting, is small caps. We think there's 50% upside this year. They're trading at 44% of the price to book of large caps. So I do think that's really one of the sleeper stories this year.
There is
that's our boy, Tom Lee. We'll take a break here from that. So I wanted to focus on that because Tom is a brilliant man. He doesn't get all the credit he deserves. And he's got some great ideas from all the way, again, kind of what I like to do, micro to macro. Tom knows it all. He's got a wealth of data behind him. And he's saying that Bitcoin is going to be strong. He's saying that he believes that there's too many people that are top calling right now and that the market is probably going to keep running until that stops and people start to get bullish across the board and the bears are broken And that at that point, we're probably going to see more downside. And he's saying that because there's not a lot of margin debt out there, which is great. That's wonderful, because when you start to see a lot of people, like when we get strong drops in Bitcoin, here's the reason why. It's because people are margined to the hilt towards the upside. And when that happens, the longs have to pay the shorts a premium, like a percentage. This last time when we had just a mega wick of 10K up and down in a day, I think the premium was like 1.5% today. The longs were having to pay the shorts, where you're going to get wrecked eventually. There can only be so many people that are long before it collapses. And so that's why we'll see a violent pullback every once in a while in Bitcoin. And so what Tom's saying is that that environment doesn't even exist in regular markets right now. And then at the same time, the small caps are incredibly undervalued. And he's saying that we're probably going to see margin expansion and earnings continue to outperform. So these are all really great things. And I think he's probably right on 90% of it. And I think that my fintech list of stocks and things like ARKG and other stuff will benefit along with those small caps, because they're underperformers and people are looking for yield. So I think that this is the message you need to understand out of what he just said. Now we're going to move on to something else. We're going to talk about economic data. So a couple things I want to point out here. Non-farm payrolls are up. Unemployment is up. So this is bad, right? We don't want to see unemployment rise. Average hourly earnings month over month were a little bit lower than expected, but really participation rate, average hourly earnings year over year are all good. They look all right. Government payrolls and average weekly hours have started to increase. So this is some good stuff. These numbers are not crazy. U6 unemployment rate is up. But it's within forecast, and non-farm payrolls, private, are up substantially, even though, again, manufacturing is getting hit. So government and non-farm payrolls, private, great. Manufacturing sucks, right? That's kind of what you need to get out of this. Manufacturing is in a world of hurt. It's probably going to continue to be. Now, I do want to show, so I'm going to jump into these charts, at least the yearly ones, real quickly, just to eyeball them, to show you what they look like compared to historical trends. So non-farm payrolls, not a lot to look at here. We'll skip it because we just don't have enough data. Unemployment rate, not a ton of data to look at, but we'll hit the 1 year. So the thing I want you to get is that we're up, right? Like we're up from where we used to be. And if you curve this, maybe the 10 year is okay to look at. You can see where we're above historical trends, maybe going back to like, we're not at the peak of 2019, but we're at one of the highest levels since 2019. If you subtract the pandemic, which is just garbage data, right? So again, need to keep an eye on it. But I actually believe unemployment might be okay. The reason I say that is I talked about it briefly yesterday. There is a massive amount of retirees, huge numbers that have occurred over the last 4 years. When these really skilled laborers or heads of companies retire, people have to fill their roles, and it gives an opportunity for unemployment to stay low. So I'll just leave it at that. There's probably more to it than that, but that's enough. Average hourly earnings, let me see here. So if this one, we actually have some better data. So the number is starting to come down. We want to see that. You know why we want to see that? This is a case where we want to see a normalization in hourly earnings, because it lets us know the labor market is healthy and it's not too tight. Now, we don't want this to drop quickly. We don't want it to drop too much. That could send other problems. But if you look here, it's kind of been meandering here for, months, almost a quarter, over a quarter, almost heading towards 2. So this isn't bad. This is what we want to see. We don't want too much wage inflation. If that happens, we have a whole nother slew of problems. We don't start lowering rates, and we want to lower rates. Participation rate came in line. So people are participating in the market. We got a nice bounce after COVID. Again, all these lazy people like me quit their jobs or took breaks and said, I'm going to coast for a while. I'm getting paid by the government. What was it, like 2 years that people were getting? I don't know. There were a bunch of checks that came, and then people could delay their mortgages by like up to 2 years. The environment was crazy, right? It was nuts. All right, government payrolls. Again, government likes to give money away. That's what we do, even if we don't have it. Nobody cares about paying it back. And this is both parties I'm talking about, to be very clear. So if you look here, we're definitely trending up, and I don't like that trend. It's not healthy. We don't want to employ a bunch of people from the government. If anything, we want to make government smaller, like what Argentina is doing. even though they have a slew of other problems we don't need to talk about. Manufacturing, but I love Argentina, and I love their president, and I think he's going to bring them back from the depths. It's great when you have an economist who isn't a bullshitter, who cares about his country, become the president of it. I think that's going to be wonderful. Manufacturing payrolls in line, nothing really interesting. Non-farm payrolls, again, private. So this is February's number, and can't go out that far, evidently. Again, all this stuff gets thrown off. Highest number since May of 2023. That's cool. I like seeing that. And then this U6 unemployment rate. This is another way to look at unemployment. Its factors are different. It's weighted different. It looks like it's curling. So again, without going into all the details of it, it is something to keep an eye on. And you know what? Here's the thing I want to say. I promised a bunch of you members too a hedging video. I'm going to do that. I'm not in a huge rush to do it. Here's why. I actually think the most perfect hedge for whatever's coming in the next, if we get something in the next 3 months, I think the best hedge you could be in is Bitcoin right now. Now, a year and a half from now, I probably won't be saying that. And the reason I won't be saying that is it could have shot up exponentially, and you can't have a good hedge in something that's made you 20x in the course of 2 years. It just can't be by design, right? You already made a bunch of money off of it. If anything, people are using that as something, a source of funds, they call it, where they're like, maybe I should sell some of my Bitcoin and get Tesla. It's super cheap, dude. Look how low Tesla went, and it looks like they finally got autonomy working. So like, you have to think this way, right? So right now, though, Bitcoin is still cheap. For all these other reasons, you need to watch my Bitcoin video for all that detail, but Bitcoin is stupid cheap. So I'm not worried about hedging with anything other than Bitcoin right now. Now that in 3 months, call me up. It's probably going to be, it could be different, right? Like I could be a little less bullish on Bitcoin as a hedge because maybe we're over 120 or something stupid, 150,000, where people thought that was their target for this cycle, and it's just getting us started. And I might be like, you know what? Get into that Best Buy short, get into that Starbucks short, and this other list that I'm coming up with right now. I am going to try and finish it this weekend, though. But I'm going to caveat a lot. And maybe I don't do it till next weekend, but I'm going to caveat it a lot with, I wouldn't jump into a ton of this right now because I think Bitcoin's your best bet. So just keep that in mind. This other crap, whatever. Inflation next week. Tuesday is your big day, right? We get core and regular inflation details, CPI, Red Book, all the good stuff happens next Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, PPI data, jobs, like tons of good stuff. So it's Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. That's all you care about for economic. Oil. Hey, I told you guys we're going to start breaking down, right? I've been saying that for a while because I knew it would. And I can't quite see. We still found support on the 50 moving average on the weekly time frame. I don't think that's going to hold. I'm just telling you. This pattern right here looks like something that wants to break. Just like down here with all these wicks, it looked like it wanted to go higher. Now it looks like it's getting ready to roll over. And I think that's what we'll see. So don't be long oil. Not in a global slowdown. I mean, at the very least, China is slowing down hella bad. All right, so the dollar is dropping. It's trying to find support here again. I don't know. It might actually still go down. It might actually still go down. So this would be good. If the dollar drops and falls underneath it here, we could start to find support maybe in the 99 range. But we want to see a weak dollar. It actually helps companies like Tesla and many others that do business overseas with their exchange rate. It means that they get more dollars for less goods. So think of this as a good thing, especially for manufacturing and other areas of our economy that are hurting right now. So we want to see the dollar drop. We want to see that. Might not help you on your European vacation because you won't be able to buy as much, but it's hella good for our businesses. So remember that. Thank you, Popik. I appreciate you, my friend. Oh, you're Lussie Picker. I love that name, by the way. I wanted to say that to you. Sweet, man. All right. Move Index. You guys probably don't even know what this is. This is the Bond Volatility Index. Not that anybody cares about the VIX anymore, the Volatility Index for stocks, But there's something you need to understand about the MOVE index. It marks key moments in time for its peaks, right? This is the bond volatility index. So if we look here, October 2008, peak fear and the Great Recession, this thing was high, right? Then let's fast forward to March of 2020, when everybody realized they were going to be locked in their homes and they started buying Lysol to spray down packages because they were afraid for their lives. Like, pretty crazy shit. Peaked, right? Okay, we can see that line. And then over here in March of 2023, we had a banking crisis, right? We were afraid that banks were going to collapse. Crypto had imploded in 2022. And then we had Silicon Valley Bank just go under in 2023, along with many other banks. And it looked like it was going to be a bank run, and everybody freaked out. And then we did the BTFP, the Bank Term Funding Program, or, buy the fucking dip program. Now, that's over. And I need to tell you something here. This is a rising, broadening wedge. This is a big deal. This is a breakdown pattern, right? This is a pattern that wants to get crushed. It wants to fall hard. And I can tell you this. When the bond volatility is low, guess what does good most of the time, along with other indicators that we have? Stocks and Bitcoin. Well, I mean, we don't have a lot of reference to Bitcoin, but I mean, it did go up. And in 2020, it did really well until the Fed started hiking rates. And then in the banking crisis, it was doing well too. So I guess we do have some history now that it is a good hedge, and that my thesis will play out well over the next 3 to 6 months. I'll get to comments more here in a second. I'm trying to get used to all this. It's kind of hard for me to keep track of all my thoughts and how I'm trying to structure this dialogue and what I'm going over, and then also at the same time, like, pay attention to all the comments. I struggle. I'm going to try and get better at it. So this is Nayib Bukele. For people who don't know this is the president of El Salvador. He is a man who has fully embraced Bitcoin. It is one of two currencies you can use in the nation. They've got their base currency, and then there's Bitcoin. Now, they even have volcano bonds because they use volcanic heat to mine Bitcoin. One could say this guy is a fan of Bitcoin, right? What's fascinating is this is a video of him meeting and shaking the hand of one of the heads of Qatar. I don't know if this is the president or if this is just a diplomat, but a very powerful person. And you know what they're there for? Do the math. We've got Bitcoin screaming higher, and we've got an entire region of energy that is not finding use as much anymore. Okay? Oil isn't going up a lot, and we've seen peak oil. Whether people want to realize it or not, we have. Electric vehicles are not dying. They're just being born. Okay? They'll just be Teslas. And then maybe another couple of companies. But we're going away from oil. Do you think that the Arab nations don't know this? These countries are investing in renewables. One of them is invested in Lucid, an electric car company. Do you think they're going to invest in mining infrastructure so that they can take stranded energy that isn't wanted as much anymore and isn't as valuable, but they have in abundance, and then use it to make Bitcoin? If you don't think that's the future, you're wrong. It's happening now. Sorry, I get this way every once in a while. I try not to, but I'm just an emotional person by nature. There's a bunch of other crap I can show you here. I want to go back. I want to show a few things. A, Bitcoin, $70,000. New all-time high in the history of it. That probably doesn't mean anything. Probably no signal there, right? Ethereum, $4,000. Its highest level since December of 2021. Probably nothing to see here. Economic data. Quick jump. Banks are preparing for large losses due to deterioration in credit. Here's the thing I like. That they are preparing. They didn't do a great job in the past. And because of Dodd-Frank and a bunch of other stuff that happened after the great financial crisis of 2008, we're better off with the banks right now. And I listened to Jerome. There were two meetings with the House and the Senate this last week with Jerome Powell, like 4.5 hours of wasted life, right? But within that, there were nuggets of information that were incredibly valuable and interesting. One of them, he said that they have a little more time to figure out if they're good to lower rates because the inflation is behind them. A little. It was a new word. It's a very important word. One of the other things he talked about was banks and how they're working with CRE, the commercial real estate market, and the banks that are affected with that. They've identified all the banks that are affected by it, and they're working with them to ensure that they're going to be okay or have a plan or can go to the discount window and know the appropriate steps to take. I can tell you in 2008, I lived through that stuff. Nobody had a plan for anything. So you can shit all over Jerome Powell all you want, but he does have a plan. He is working to execute it, and he is a lot smarter than people give him credit for. You got to remember, he told everybody what he wanted them to hear, that inflation was transitory, and then in a heartbeat, he raised rates at the most aggressive rate in history. This man will flip on a dime if he thinks he needs to. You need to understand that about him. All right, real quick, I wanted to jump into a couple other things, then I'm going to get into my charts, and then I'll get into chart requests, okay? And I'll start going through comments. So I apologize, I go off on a little rant in the beginning, but we'll get there. All right, real quick, PayPal. My friend Palantir Hotline posted this today. You guys should follow him. He's a good dude. It says PayPal's overseas money transfer service, Zoom, to offer no-fee transactions through PYUSD. So PayPal is now increasing the adoption rate, probably significantly, while getting themselves more into international markets. This is a game changer. I don't think people understand it yet. Oh, let me go back. Sorry here. Didn't mean to close out all that. Let me go down. All right. So again, on the economic front, some other worries that might be out there. Credit card delinquencies at small banks just hit a fresh all-time high. This is March 1st, so this is about a week old, right? But what you need to realize is small banks are under stress. The big ones are not. And that's by design. Something you need to realize, Larry Fink said, like 6 months ago, maybe it was a year now. He said that they asked him about regional banks when they were collapsing, when everybody was like freaking out. And he seemed very calm. And he said that, I don't know. We have like 4,400 banks. Do we really need that many? So, I don't know. I think we could see some controlled demolition of banks. And I think that, again, is deliberate and by design. Okay, so we're done with all that crap now. Now we're moving on to charts. First one, got to be Bitcoin. We have the highest daily close in the history. I think. Let me go back before I talk schmack that I don't understand. Yes, today could be the highest daily close. It probably will be. Besides that, it was 67. So yeah, we're crushing it. New all-time high on the daily for Bitcoin. Heading into a weekend where we've had all-time highs on like BlackRock ETFs, Fidelity ETFs, all-time highs on volumes and inflows, guys, have been happening all week. So if you can't see where the future is, like, I feel bad for you, son, because I got 99 problems, but not owning Bitcoin isn't one. I should have been a rapper. All right, what are we doing next? Let's look at some other stuff. Again, Ethereum. It wants to hit 4,000, and when it does, 6,000 is our next target, guys. It's up here. It's way up here. I might have screwed up this chart. I'll double check it later. But it's roughly around 6,000. That is our next target. So that's going to be fun. Real quickly, I'm just going to check out like Solana. A couple of the top ones, really, in the crypto space. Then I'll probably hit Bitcoin miners. Then I'll hit Fintech and some of my other stuff. And then we're on to your guys's. All right, Solana, again, up, took a little bit of a retrace. Everything's kind of taking a breather today, but man, it's going to, once Bitcoin settles down wherever it wants to take a break for a while, or after just a massive run, alts will be coming. All of them. All right, let's look at miners. I'm going to start with Cypher because it's down today, and I can already hear the noise. Why is Cypher down today? What happened? Why isn't it doing as good as Mara and CleanSpark? I don't understand. Even Bitfarms was up 6.37%. Why, or I'm sorry, it's up 2.63. Why is it underperforming all these others? With CleanSpark up 13.5%, with Mara up 7.71, and with Bitfarms up 6.37. Why is this only up 2%? I'll tell you why. 2 days ago, it was up 27%. Right? So maybe give it a break. I don't know how much you guys expect out of investments, but when I get 27% in a day, I don't bitch. Just to be very clear. All right. Let's look at another one. Let's look at the king, the current king, CleanSpark. It's funny. I pushed this one forever, and now everybody seems to think it's the king. It's funny, funny, funny. Now I like Mara and some of these others. We'll see if people change their minds again. All right, so CleanSpark is up over 1,000% from its low in December of 2022. 15 months, guys. You could have made 1,000% or 10x, 11x, 11x. That would have been cool, right? I mean, I own calls down here. That's part of the reason why I was up 700% last year, right? All right, so that's cool. So CleanSpark's still going to do great. It needs to get up. Its next move is 33. I don't think that's going to be a lot of work. All right, Mara. I mean, maybe CleanSpark does that before the end of the month. I think so. That's what I'd expect. All right, so Mara has really hated this .382 fib, right? It's been painful. Tried to get over it, just couldn't get over it. Double top. But general markets for Bitcoin are looking strong. So normally I would say, and I did post that we could go down here, and we still could. I mean, shit can happen over a short period of time. Anything can happen. So maybe we get some craziness and go down to the 18 level. That is possible, but I think Bitcoin might drag it back up to this fib again. And if it does, and if Bitcoin does what I think it's going to do, I think Bitcoin is going to go to $92,000 between now and the halving, which is in 40 days. If I'm right about that, then I would expect the .5 fib roughly in the 50 range for Mara in that time frame. All right. So let's do BITF. Bitfarms for the people who don't know it. All right, nice bounce. Hit that fib on the .5 and turned it into support. We got some volume up here, so we got a little bit of a peak. We need to get above 288, 289. If we can do that, we're going to make another run to the fib. So we could see 390 again soon. And if, this might sound crazy to you, if Bitcoin goes up that roughly 50% to the 92 level, I could see us break above the all-time high about 940. So 267 to 940, or at least get close to it. I think that is very doable. I think, or bare minimum 720. Now you got to remember, this is a small cap, and it hasn't performed as well as some of these others. Sure, it's done all right, but it's only went up 600% from the bottom, right? 600%. And Cypher, what has Cypher done? Cypher actually probably did pretty good, but it did get hit too. So let's just see. I mean, this one was the most damaged over the bear, 658. So you can see where like Mara is up was up 1,000%. Maybe it's not anymore. CleanSpark is up 1,000%. These are under that, and they're small caps. And because they're way smaller in scale, they can become much more volatile to the upside. So when people get bored of making too much money off of CleanSpark and Mara, and I don't think that'll take long, maybe another 2 months, then you're going to see these explode. You'll see the Bitfarms, and you'll see the Cyphers. You'll see those explode because they have a fraction of the market cap, like 800 million on Bitfarms, when Mara is 6.3 billion. I mean, again, you're looking at what, like 8.5x or something. Like, it's a big number. And so, again, these things are more volatile. Expect more from them, which is why I own them. All right, now, let's move on. We're out of that. Now we're going to go to some of my Fintech stuff. We're going to have a little bit of fun. Or actually, I'll go to Palantir first, and then I'll start. Once I get done with my stuff, I'll roll back through, guys, and I'll hit yours, like I said. So, not so great move on Palantir today. Thought it was going to try and run. It might be okay. Let's wait till Monday, really, to make a decision, because here's the thing. So we had this upward trend line we established, and we hit hard, right? Like, and it didn't want to break through, but it went down, and then we broke up. Cool. You got to remember, Palantir, as much as I love this company, they're a $57 billion valuation over a short period of time. Again, how much has this thing ran? Let's just go back and find the number here. I mean, it's up 350% almost from the low in December. That's, I mean, for not being a shit coin, that's a decent return. I mean, it's nothing compared to Nvidia, but Nvidia is nuts, and they have the whole picks and shovels thing, right? But so what I want to see from Palantir is that we break above this trend line, or we stay above it. We find support, I should say, because again, you can see peak volumes here. If we go all the way out and look at just volume on this side, you can see how we have a lot of volume here. Like, actually, we're under some of it now. So I'd like to get above this 26 range, right? 2650. I'd like that to turn into support, because this line is an upward trend, so it's easier to break down out of it. So we want to see this turn into support, or if we fall, we get back above it, and then we just hang out. We want to see some strength here. I own 1 share of Palantir right now. It's a small number, man. But I did make over 600,000 off of it last year. Or in the last year, I should say. So I've still done really well off of it, but I just don't think the asymmetric return is there right now, which is why I'm divested into other things, right? All right, real quick. And today, too, I mentioned it, but the chip stocks have just had their asses handed to them. I'm not going to go through each one of them. But ARCG is boring. I'm just going to pull that up real quick. It's ARC Genomics, Cathie Wood. I love Cathie Wood. She's a horrible stock picker for the most part, but she's a great person, and I think she's very smart and good at seeing long-term trends. We're still underneath this peak resistance line. You can see how we want to hit it, right? Like, we want to hit the volume, I should say. Peak volume, we've hit it a bunch of times. We need to get above it. I think we're going to get above it. We're not getting above it right now. I'll be bullish when we do. When we get above this and turn it into support, we're above 3174. You're going to see a very happy micro to macro. All right, real quick, other stuff. Let's look at Square. I'm going to roll through these quick, and then we'll get to your stuff. Square has done a great job. I don't own nearly as much of this anymore, but what I like is that first, second, third, fourth, we're getting ready for our 4th attempt against this downward resistance line. If we do that and we can get above it, it's a quick mean reversion to like 90, where basically this party kind of started, right? That fib level right there. So 90, maybe like 9 to 93, 90 to 93. And then maybe we start to hit some resistance and have some downward divergences. But I think that is very likely. And again, I don't have much benefit of this because it's a very small portion of my portfolio anymore. But I still tell you what I think, because I'm not a dick. All right. SoFi. Now, I do have a decent amount of this, and I bought a hell of a lot of dip right here when I put this little box in here and said this was going to be a pivotal support. And it was. It's up 3.21% today. I like that number. Sold off for stupid reasons. Won't go into all of them right now. But I'm very happy. Again, I'm leveraged into this one, and I'm okay with that. I'm very happy with that, because I got a lot of faith in the company. I think they're going to do well. I don't think we see a banking crisis right now. We might see some, but I don't think we see it affecting these guys. And now they just got a bunch of money, reduced a bunch of their debt interest. So they're playing it smart. So Hood tried to break above the fib again this week. It didn't break it. Thank you, Cody. Thanks for joining, man. But I think it's going to continue to try next week. And it's up in after hours. It almost was up 4% today. So I sold off a bunch of this. Regretted a little bit, but kind of don't too, because I made 300%. I think I talked about that already. Let's skip it. Move on. All right. So next, PayPal, the one everybody loves to hate and talk shit about. So again, I showed you something that makes it look like their adoption is going to increase for PYUSD. There's a lot of stuff these guys are doing. It's going to be silent, and it's not going to be a narrative for a little bit, and then it's going to come all at once, and the stock's going to explode higher. I think that'll happen within the next 3 months. But we closed above the 100. I'm happy to report. So we're above peak volumes for this localized time frame here. We're above peak volumes going back years. And now we're above the 100. And so, like I said in my post earlier today, I think it's a quick trip to the 60 range. You better expect it, because it's happening. And I've been dialing up in this thing the whole way. So I'm going to love that trip. I'll do Tesla real quick, and then I think I'm good. And no, you know what? I'm gonna do I gotta do MicroStrategy, man, and maybe I'll pull up Coin real quick too. DM'd you, but can you check MicroStrategy short interest? I don't think it's updated in a while. Oh, you mean in visual stocks? I can check. I think it's probably delayed because you got to like pay primo for the good stuff. But short interest, I don't know. Here's one thing I can tell you, Cody. It's there, dude. It's there because you can see that these guys went up 9.66 again today. And as long as this thing's still rocketing, short interest is higher than it should be. And these guys are getting royally fucked. Royally. And I love it. Because I picked up a bunch. I don't know if I'm at 6 figures yet on MicroStrategy, but I got a decent amount. I like this over any other ETF that's out there right now. This is what's going to give you the leverage play on Bitcoin, and they have no fee. And it's a perpetual money printer because Saylor buys Bitcoin by diluting the stock. So the stock loses a little bit of value for each shareholder, but then he buys Bitcoin with it, which is going up over the next year and a half. And with that going up, the shareholders are returned a greater amount, and then they buy more stock, and then he dilutes it more, and then he buys more Bitcoin. The dude's been doing this for years, and people are just starting to realize, holy shit, that's brilliant. He's going to do it more. So I love this. It's freaking crazy. Let me pull up Coin real quick. And I will try and figure out short interest. I don't know that I can do it right in this one, but I'll try and have that prep for the next one. So again, Coin is up. It looks like it kind of peaked a little bit though, and it started to drop down. So Coin did all right, 5.77%. I think if you want to leverage Bitcoin play that's kind of like an ETF, I would be in MicroStrategy. If anything, I could see MicroStrategy eating a little bit of Coin. Not that Coin will do bad. I mean, all these things will do good, but MicroStrategy is a beast right now. It's just math. Michael Saylor's a genius. There's a reason. He's the last surviving CEO of a tech company from the dot-com bubble. You best realize there's a reason for that, right? Yeah, best. All right, Tesla. So we dropped today, and again, oh no, I showed this one. I'm an idiot. We did this at the beginning. So if you want to see that, go back. All right, so let me go back up here. I'm on to you guys. I'm going to try and get caught up. Hi, Jesse. Thoughts on Riot over the miners? I don't love Riot. They might do all right. They have the second largest holding of Bitcoin. That's good. The thing I don't like is they have these. They have the credits for curtailment, and curtailment means we turn off our equipment so that the electrical grid can use it for other stuff. It's great in a bear market. It sucks in a bull. And their leadership, they lost their CEO over the last year. They haven't been as well managed. If I was going to do anything, I would do best of breed. I would do CleanSpark for their management and just everything. They have the third largest Bitcoin position, and then I would do Mara for the largest Bitcoin position, and like most creative and ambitious, and then maybe like a little shitty management in the past. But I think Fred, their CEO, is doing a lot better now. And they've got some interesting stuff, a lot of things coming. And I think their hash rate is going to jump substantially. So CleanSpark's getting all the love now. I think that could shift in the coming weeks tomorrow. But I wouldn't be in Riot. And then again, Bitfarms for small caps, Bitfarms and Cypher probably get you a lot. I don't like any of the rest of the miners. I don't even look at them. I purchased lots of CleanSpark and trying to get used to the volatility, just wondering if there will be more shakeups. There might be shakeouts in the future. Be prepared for it. Lemonade. Boom. Done. All right. And I will look up the stock TA, and then I'll quickly look up. So, yeah, this one's doing good, man. Looks like it's ready. So we hit a fib. We retrace back down to it. It looks like we want to go to the .618. That's the golden retracement zone. I would expect this to go to 2482 as long as earnings are good. It looks like down on earnings, we got double beats. And if I look at it over here on visualstocks.com with a Z instead of an S for visual, this is my buddy's site. And he does great work, and he's just freaking awesome. He's on X, actually. His name's Alejandro, and he's just a cool dude. Anyway, 31% revenue year over year, turning up towards profitability. If you would have asked me about this stock like over here, I would have been like, fuck that. This thing's a money loser run. But now we're starting to get rid of some of that. We're burning 42 million a quarter, but cash position has increased. Debt is not high. Dilution seems to be slowing down. Operating expenses are coming down. Cash flow looks like it's getting a little bit better in the quarters. We're seeing guidance for increased revenue. I wish the EPS stuff was better. This tells me that maybe their net income goes up, but they're probably planning on diluting shares again. Maybe that's for more R&D or something. I don't know. I don't know enough about their business. But here's one thing I don't like, a warning. I don't like the expenses outpacing revenue. So I'm not sure what all they're doing here right now. And this is Q4 data. I'm not sure what all they're trying to accomplish, but it looks like stock-based comp is still 12.38%. So they're paying a lot of employees and probably senior execs with that money. So I don't know. This could do well. This could do well. Short interest is 31%. This could do well because of that. If this short interest number is right, kind of a weirdly even pie. Lots of insiders still. Love to see more institutional. That'll probably come in later. SoftBank owns this one as a largest holding. SoftBank has made some poor decisions in their life. So I don't know. I probably wouldn't be super long in this myself. And if I got to the 24 to 82 range, it's kind of like mean reversion, right? At least recently here. This technically could be mean reversion in the 30s. But if we don't see a lot of improvement in like their net income getting better to where they're starting to become profitable, I don't know. It's a $1.25 billion company. That's not crazy for like a tech company. But I would like to see the numbers getting a little better, continue the growth, continue the revenue expansion, but start to get towards profitability because this is a day and age where you want that. And these guys, look, like recently here, 5 quarters in a row, they've met and exceeded guidance. We want to see that. That's a good thing. But that's kind of my take on Lemonade right now. I don't have a lot more than that. Sorry if you wanted more. All right, so whale request. Whales get priority. So whales can, regular ones, if you're just a regular like starter pack member, then I would ask you to keep it to 1 stock on your requests. If you're an alpha, you can get like 2, let's say. And if you're a whale, you could do up to 3. And I will not leave this until I get your request done. Okay? That's the deal. Now I'm going to make a copy because I don't think I've got the stock that you're looking at. So let me see here. GWW. Oh, and by the way, irregardless of how much you donate to me, I will shit on your stock if I don't like it. I'm just going to give my honest opinion. Don't take offense to it. In some cases, like Granger Incorporated, I don't know anything about this. So I might dump on it. I might dump on it because it's done so great and the RSI is higher. I might dump on it because it sucks and like for any number of reasons. But this one looks like just a steady moneymaker. Looks like it's accelerating. Kind of crazy to see. So in March of 2020, you could have got this thing for $200 and now it's $970. So looks pretty good on that front. Now we're going to look and see what does this company do. I'll draw some. I might do like a fib-based trend extension too. Let me see. I might actually do that real quick. So I don't really have a good spot from March of 2020 to do that because it just never really had a big drop after that time frame like most things would. Most of them sucked at some point, at least in 2022, but not Granger. So we're going to have to go back further, right? And then March of 2020 will be our bottom. So we're going to go back to 2017 when they had a big drop, and then up to this peak, and then down to the 2020. That's the way we have to draw it because it's just really the only clean way to get a trend-based fib extension on here, since they didn't have that drop after March 20 going into 2022. All right, so let me lock this so I don't move it around. So you can see where we went up to this next fib. So if we go parabolic, 1900 maybe. But here's the thing I always like to get people to remember. If you bought this at the bottom in March 2020, you're up almost 400%. If you're up almost 400%, don't be too greedy when we're in overbought on the RSI on the daily time frame for that last 100. If you made 400, why risk it all for 100? That's kind of the way I look at it. But we'll get into the fundamentals. The fundamentals might completely destroy my narrative and what I'm just talking about. But I do want you to keep in mind that the RSI was at the highest level, 81.55. that it had been since 2017. And then before that, well, I mean, it is the highest on record, potentially. God, going back to the 90s? So it's done well. That's the point I'm trying to get across. And it's done a really, really strong period of time. Now let's look at what it is, right? Because I don't know shit about it. So let's figure out what this company is at a glance, not knowing everything, not understanding everything, having our expectations set accordingly. 5% growth year over year, not super great. They're buying back shares, though. Their debt, normally I don't like debt, but I like the fact that it's starting to roll down, and I like the fact that their cash is starting to go up at the same time. Can't hate that. Operating expenses aren't up a lot. Cash flow keeps going up, though. It's up a decent amount here recently, and so net income starting to roll over. I don't love that, but it was in the 470s, 470 million for a quarter. It was a good number for a $47 billion company. It's not bad at all. And the net income is 395 this last time. So PE is 26. That's not bad. A lot of these numbers look pretty good at just a glance. Forward guidance looks even better, so that makes me happy. So this dip we saw in EPS and in net income, it looks like it's going to get better. And so I don't know if they're doing that through buybacks or what it is, but I mean, revenues are going up, so it's probably straight up legit. Stock-based comp is a small amount. It's 0.33%, so this isn't like a tech company. But again, I like operating leverage expansion. I like it when the revenue's going up and the expenses are staying stable or going down. And these guys are industrial distribution. Don't know what that means. Industrial crap, whatever that is. No short interest, heavy institutional ownership. This is probably just a steady Eddie. And now that I've looked at that, I would say, let me go back here. Where did I leave that one? Oh, there we go. Now that I look at that, I would say that we could make this last run, but I wouldn't go much beyond that unless the economy starts to really fire. Maybe diversify into something else, unless this is, again, just your steady play. All right. Do you mind sharing PayPal and Tesla chart? I did that. I'm trying to learn. Okay, so I did share those at least. Oh, if you're looking to see them too, I have those on X at my pinned post at the top. If you read it, it says that I share my charts out underneath, and I've got a ton of them in there. I'm going to start adding more too, like the ones we do most commonly in here. I'll start to add as well. But I share all of my charts, and so you guys will have a shareable link where if I make an update to it, all you do is refresh. So you can have the most updated version of whatever charts I have. So go on X and look at that pinned profile and pull that up, and then you always have my charts. You don't even need to ask me. You can see what they're at. Scrolling down, getting caught up on chat. Well, kind of. You're a beast. How do you get much energy to fire up so much content on Twitter or YouTube daily? I don't know, man. I drink a lot of coffee, Adam. I try to. Happy Friday. Can you check on hymns? Yes, I will. Yes. Yeah, I don't know, man. I've got, so I do have some cheat codes, right? I got a processor that's like 16 core, 128 gig of memory, 327-inch monitors pushed towards landscape, and then I've got a 46-inch OLED in front of me. So I run about 150 windows in front of me at any given point in time. I've got alerts set up. I've been doing this stuff for years. So like there's a lot of stuff that gives me an advantage, I think, over other people. And I'm naturally gifted with data, which is probably why I'm good at this. It's always something I've loved. I've always loved looking at data and figuring out what it means. So I would say that is a key contributor to my ability to be able to outperform on Twitter when it comes to financial information. All right, Hims. Hims has had a great ride, man. 425%. Can't hate that at all. Kind of mixed, I think, in the quarters. They had some choppy periods. If you look here down for earnings, I'll ignore RSI right now. We'll go to that in a second. But you can see like red, green, red, green, red, green. It feels like Christmas. That kind of sucks. You don't love that. But, I should get rid of these too. I stopped doing this just because I can visually see it and it just creates clutter and it creates confusion, at least for me, as I move between time frames. So I think we could go to the all-time high. I'll look at fundamentals in a second, but here's what I want to say. RSI hit its highest level since 2020 when this company was born. So that's something to keep in mind, right? So we've done a lot, and we're back to This thing is probably overvalued. I don't know if it was a SPAC or if it just came out with everybody else. It's currently a $3 billion company. Let's look at the financials. And I'm trying to get better at this and looking at these, and I'm reading out and saying the numbers because it embeds it in my memory better. Now, I love the revenue growth when you're pulling in $246 million a year or a quarter. That's pretty cool for a $2.9 billion company. And then we saw profitability recently. We need to see a trend of this continuing. Let's go to estimates. Estimates say we're going to be profitable, but it ain't a ton. It's so tiny that I can barely click on it. Let me see. Yeah, so like nothing, right? So I love that they're still expanding. I love that there's growth, but I would love to see net income forecasting start to tick higher. That could really add to the multiple on this. We could go higher still, but operating expenses are going up, right? I love that they're doing R&D. I think that's good. There could be, you could say their liabilities with like the erectile dysfunction and just like all the stuff that they're pushing could have some liability risks. We had some share dilution here recently. So we've had a great run, and I love that the operating leverage has gotten better and that they're expanding out here, and we're starting to gap a little bit on that. They're still doing 7%, 7.21% of their revenue towards stock-based comp for their employees, and especially the execs. Probably it's probably most of it. So I don't know. They've had a really good run. Maybe we get a run to the all-time high, but again, 425% in gains. And until we start to really see that net income and like EPS get better, then it seems like that's pretty greedy with 425% in gains to be looking for another 80% to get to the all-time high. Not that the company isn't getting better. Obviously, it's getting better. Obviously, this is like when you compare where they were over here to where they are here, it's better. And the fact that they're not burning money is better. And the fact that cash is growing is better. There's a lot of good things to see here, but I really think it needs a little extra to get it. Yeah, you got to realize meme stocks are going to be pumping. Bitcoin's going to be pumping. You've got chips pumping. You need to have a strong narrative to maintain your momentum when you've already ran significantly. Okay? That's just important. All right, next. What else we got? Starting to get caught up here. Beast Hems. Hearts from my boy Chris, my administrator. I might up you even more here, sir. Give you God mode administrator. How's that? No SHIB. No, I don't know SHIB. I don't own that right now. You could. I mean, I like the narrative on Doge better, Chris, because it ties in with Elon Musk, and Elon Musk is pretty loyal, and I think he likes dogs. And he's joked before about, Doge being good money, and then he's got X payments being birthed. So maybe he is going to, I better make a copy. Maybe he's going to incorporate it into his network. I'd actually be surprised if he didn't. So that's why I like Doge for that regard. I don't know SHIB very well, though. I'd be lying if I said I knew the coin well. I really don't, and I don't care that much. I don't care about a lot of dogs coins. I like dogs. I got a dog. I got a Jack Russell Terrier. But if somebody made a coin about it, I probably wouldn't fucking buy it. So, all right. All right. What was I doing here? MDR. Let's pull you up. But yeah, I do have Bonk. I bought Bonk because I think it's tied with Solana. Hopefully that's an accurate statement. And so that's why I bought Bonk, because I think Solana does really good. There's this narrative thing. James from Invest Answers talks about it, about how the leaders in a market cycle for crypto, the ones that really perform at the beginning of the market, are usually the ones that continue to perform throughout the market. I think that's true, outside of some caveats. And so Solana was the beast. Now it's taken a little bit of a pause. It started climbing again more recently, but it was the beast, and its network and ecosystem, I think, are going to be great beneficiaries throughout the rest of the cycle. So that's why I got Bonk. I mean, that was my justification for it. It could be flawed. MDR, MedAdvisor Limited, is above its 200 weekly moving average and looks like it's finding support above peak volumes. This is interesting. Let me switch to monthly. Why do we have this huge shit? 2011. Okay, so this company obviously had a tough couple years from 2011 to 2015. They got their stuff together. They started to go up. Then 2020 happened and effed them again. What are you? Technology service package. Okay, so I'll look this up now and we'll see what we're actually. I like this though. I like this. I'm going to quickly look at financials and see. I like the fact that it looks like it's. Oh, MongoDB. Okay, I think I've maybe looked at this before. Ooh, I hate that last quarter. Don't know if there's a one-time write-off or something. Maybe they're trying to front load some pain. But I don't like the fact that they were really making good progress on net income and then it just got whacked. I don't love share dilution in companies. Revenue growth is great. Revenue growth year over year of 27% is great. What does the future look like? Now, I love that. Give me some EPS that's in the positive. I don't hate that at all. Almost $1 million in gains per quarter. I mean, whatever. It's not burning money. And I like this little jump. We're still seeing a decent trend going up here, maybe a 25-30% pace. We're seeing operating leverage where maybe this starts to widen. Expenses have not been too crazy. They went up a little bit last quarter, but again, net income took a hit too. It'll be interesting to see if that maintains. I don't hate them spending on R&D too, as long as it's valuable and helps the company. I like that the debt's going down and the cash is going up. Cash flow is positive. Let's see, what are they? A $27 billion company. That seems rich, though. Revenue is $458 million, but they're getting ready to start to make money. But again, $27.7 billion is a lot. Institutions own this. They definitely have faith in it. I don't know anything about them. But I'll need to learn. But short interest is nothing, 4.76%. That's like nothing crazy. So I'll say this. I could see us getting to, is 38 cents what I'm saying? Wow, they need to do something to get their prices. Like get it back up over a dollar or two or something. But I could see us going up and testing that, 37 cents. That's all I'll say for now. All right. SLDP. I don't think I've looked that one up. So make a copy. SLDB. DB? DP? 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 B? P? Where'd it go? In Tom Lee we trust. 6 trillion on the sidelines, 1 trillion printed every 100 days. I know, right? I know. How can you be bearish on this? Who said that? Hesse Sports Cards. All right, this person not only knows sports cards, they understand math. $6 trillion is sitting on the sidelines, and we're printing 1 trillion every 100 days. And people think that this market can go down. Never understood that. I've been calling it right for a long time. It's just math, guys. It's just math. Woof. 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 And I'm not talking meme coins. What happened to this guy? It's just a stair step down. Painful. I mean, they didn't fall off a cliff, but woof. They're taking the escalator. And it's trying to test support again. Seems kind of dangerous from here. I'd like to, if it was like over here and it hadn't fallen, I'd be more interested in it. I'll look it up. But if the finances are trash, I'll be done with it real quick. Solid Power. They've watched their revenue get crushed. 44% year over year. Their cash is depleting. Their debt is meh. Operating expenses aren't getting better. Cash flow is almost getting better. Net income's going nowhere. They're burning $16 million a quarter, and they have 80 million almost in cash. So they got about 12 quarters, 10 quarters maybe. I mean, unless this number gets worse, what are they forecasting? An improvement. That's good, but not in net income. I don't care about this company. Now, yeah, I don't care about it. If the stuff starts to get better, then we can look at it some more in the future. But right now, it looks like shit. If you do think though, if you have reasoning, like again, I'm gonna judge these, and sometimes I might judge them harshly. But if you know something I do not, and you're like, oh, but Jesse, you're missing this thing, say that. Even if I miss it, I do read all the comments. So if I miss it while we're live, I'll still catch on to it. And then I'll give it maybe the benefit of the doubt the next time and review it again with more open eyes. But have some good reasoning behind it. Put forth some effort. I put forth a decent amount, so I appreciate it if people, if you don't know it and you're just trying to get information, ask questions. That's cool. You're supporting the channel. But otherwise, if you can help by doing some research, providing that, if we can help each other, because I'm just one person, so the more people we can get in here that are helping us understand these stocks better, the better off all of us are going to be. All right, so path, I pulled it up, right? We're underneath this fib. We've ran pretty decently from $10 to $23. Revenue's up. I'm trying to remember this one from the other day. Net income's still red. What was their estimate, though? So their estimate is to go positive. I like that, and I can't remember what their market cap is. It's 13 billion, though. That seems a little rich. So I think I've talked about this one a few times. It still seems a little rich to me. I'd like to see more improvement, but I do like that their EPS has, or that their earnings and revenue have guided so much, like they've outperformed a lot. So if you see more of that, this thing could still go. And if you know more about their business model and how well they're going to do in the future, cool. You can see that shorts are afraid to touch it. So they're not seeing death in this company's future. They're probably afraid of profitability like they're forecasting for. And this could eventually turn into something that's better. But I just think there's better plays when you're a $13.4 billion company or something like that, and you're just now finally starting to forecast to be slightly positive and pull in hundreds of thousands of dollars or whatever, a million, whatever. So yeah. Oh, you guys don't care about my stats on X. Let me pull up the next one here. Thank you for everybody who sticks around here too. Are you DCAing into Tesla or just Leaps? I mean, I consider buying Leaps DCAing, right? I'm buying it almost every day that it's down. And mine are June 2026, 330 strikes. And I believe the return on those is sweet. You know what I'm going to do? I think in one of these upcoming videos, I'm going to take a lot of the stocks that we look at, and I'm going to do a quick review. Maybe I'll do it live, or maybe I'll do it live just so you guys can interject too and throw out your own ideas. But I'm probably going to like pull up the options calculator. This is something I have in my options 101 video. This allows you to be able to see like what option contracts are looking like. So what are the risks? What are the rewards? So we'll go to June 2026 for Tesla for my 330 strikes. And then I'll put in what I have here real quick. Just give me a second because I got to find it. I know I have like 100 of these, but I don't remember what my cost base is. I think I actually have 105 because I have them in my main account and another backup. My wife's like one of her IRAs or something. And so for people that are new, when I'm trading in IRAs. They're tax advantaged accounts. When I buy and hold, I'm doing that in a traditional investment account where I hold for a year. So when you see me repositioning all the time, that is my trading account. Understand that. I am not somebody who likes to pay an exorbitant amount of taxes. I trade in IRAs. And I built up those IRAs to a fortune. In some cases, I was able to cash some of that out using things like that were available, let's just say, from the tax code. And in some cases, paying a decent fee, but timing it well enough where I was doing it at, like, let's say, the bottom of the bear market. And I was using it to distribute to longer-term investment accounts. So I not only cashed out stuff in IRAs, then I put that in long-term investment accounts, bought things incredibly cheap, and have seen 5x returns off of it. So it's okay to pay a decent tax bill if you're able to turn it into something that can give you asymmetric gains. That's one thing that I don't think people realize and understand that they need to get. But think about your taxes, okay? Think about your taxes, guys. I made a video about it. Nobody cares to watch it. But when the IRS comes after you, you will care and you'll pay attention to it. So I actually have 109, and I got them for a cost basis of $25.04. So I am in the red, which is perfect. That's where I want to be on these. Now, I'm going to actually put a high here of roughly 750 because actually I'm going to put 1,000 because I think that Tesla, as call me crazy, in 2.5 years could be worth 1,000. It was already worth 420, or it wasn't worth it, but people thought it was. Now, I will show you the Tesla chart real quick because I hate to segue like this, but I want to do this real quick. You got to see this, just how I look at these. Not a lot of people have watched my options videos. It's very important to understand how this stuff works, and you don't need to do it, but you need to understand where opportunity lies. I think that's a smart thing, right? So, all right. So I can see my different fibs. I got a retracement in here. I keep that. I'm going to take it out for now. I keep that just so people that know, but I'm going to switch real quick to this, and I'm going to just bold it up a little bit so you can see the different fib levels real fast, and then I'm going to change it to where the lines are a little thicker. Okay, so now we're doing a trend-based fib extension. We're assuming that $100 was the bottom. I still think that's true. Now, here's what I want to show you. So it wouldn't be crazy at all for Tesla to go to the .618 fib between now and 2026 in June. That's way over here. If you look at Tesla, the history here, you see what happens? You can have periods where it trades for a long time in one direction, and then it goes exponentially higher. I think the odds of Tesla between its energy business, its autonomy business, its robotic division, its new Model 2 car, its Cybertruck, the Roadster, the Semi, the roofs, I mean, geez, whoa, can get to that .618 extension here easily. So that's 920, right? What was I trying to show you? Let's look at 920 and see what it gets us. 2.5 years when there's no intrinsic value left anymore. All right, so I can't get to, is that 920? Nope, of one. So I'm buying these calls. And if we got to that fib a little over double, what we had for the high already, that's not asking a lot, guys. I would make $6.2 million 2.5 years from now off of 272,000. So what I'm showing you here is that I believe I have more than a 10x opportunity in front of me, right? Because I'm telling you that if this thing goes 427% from where it's at, which is a little over double its previous all-time high, in 2.5 years, that I will make 2,272%. Do you see why options are interesting? You need to learn them. I've got a video. Watch it. Don't touch them until you do. All kinds of caveats on risk. But these aren't a bad thing to learn and to start small with. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just some weirdo on the internet. But I do think that there's a reason I invest in these, and there's a reason I made 700% last year. And for the people who don't know this about me, let me show you something else. So I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, but I've also done a lot right over the last 6 years. And investing is one of the things I really did right and I've gotten better at. And what I wanted to show you, this isn't my projected one. I actually posted one about projections, but we'll just show you this right now. These are my low balances between now and 2019, right? So I've learned a ton in that amount of time. I can't even quantify how much I've learned. It's so much. It's been awesome. I've just kept delving down the rabbit holes of everything you possibly can. But this is the kind of performance I've been able to get. And my new goal is 6 to 7 million. And I should actually save that real quick. Let me see where it is. I do need to find that. I want to find it because I want to save it. I need to put it in my portfolio. So I'm going to scroll down. I post so much crap. Sorry, guys. It's valuable, but I also call it crap because, well, you know. All right, so let me see here. So I'll save. Oh, this one did get saved. Let me actually do this. I'm going to save that again. So projected. So this is what I'm shooting for in 2025. And you don't want to see what that number is in 2026. It's like maybe 15. I don't know. These are my low balances. This is what I'm shooting for. So again, that's how I got there. You got to understand tools. At least understand it. Even if you never use it, understand it. All right, so getting down. Hi, just joined. Thanks for the analysis. Oh, okay. I did path. There you go. Okay. Tom Lee is the GOAT. Yes. Are you starting to DCA into Tesla? Okay, I read that one. Jesse, can you check RUM when you get a chance? Yes, I can. All right, and I do have to, if I miss anybody, sometimes I miss people, dude, and I'm really sorry. I think today's Friday, I'm good for a little bit. I'm actually good for a little bit, so we're going to be all right. All right, so I was going to say some days I have taekwondo with my daughter. I do have that today, but I don't have it right away at 5, so we're good. So we can go a little bit longer today. Oh, and again, don't forget about the 7 o'clock or 7:30, whatever it is, with Tanner tonight. And then don't miss me on Monday, guys. I will be talking to the big dog, Tom Nash, over 300,000 followers on YouTube. So he's a big deal. And your support there would be wonderful. All right, rum. And thank you for everybody, that almost 300 people that were here spending time with me today. I really appreciate it. I know that time is valuable. It's the most valuable thing we have, and the fact that you're spending it with me means a lot. $2.6 billion market cap. Let's see what our earnings, red, green, red, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so nothing really to see there. They've had a tough go of it. Obviously, this company's been beat up a little bit. It started in maybe around SPAC times, 2021. Kind of, yeah, probably near the peak of stuff. So maybe it's a SPAC. Let me look it up. Is rum? Is it literally? No, it's Rumble. What do these guys do? I've heard that name before. Software application. Longboat Key, Florida. It's got a little bit of short interest, a decent amount of insider ownership, which means they can dump on you. It's got very little institutional, so institutions have not fell in love with this company yet. I think I can see why. Now, we've got 64% revenue growth year over year, but it's looking a little loppy, or maybe it's seasonal. I don't know. Estimates, are they better? Yeah, they're better. That's good. So we do see some lumpiness. We see like a quarter on, a quarter off, where like it kind of chops back and forth. But look at this. EPS, even more red. So they're losing more money as they do better. They're burning $29 million a quarter. They're valued at $2.6 billion, and they're watching their cash go down. They don't have a lot of debt, so they can survive a while, right? These guys can survive. Cash, they have like $266 million. If they're burning at 29, they got about 10 months, but they're forecasting to burn more money in the future. I don't know what that looks like for net income, but I just don't like this setup, honestly. It's not impressive to me, unless you know things about this company from a fundamental level that make it more interesting. I'm not super interested right now. So yeah, that's my take on that one for now. If you got more stuff that's interesting, then I can draw it out better and come up with more. I see Starbucks and BBY in your pie chart. Are you short both of those? Yes, I'm short, and I have a video. It says like hedging strategies or something already. Watch it. I think Starbucks and Best Buy are great hedges for war, or like just an economic 2008 like event. I don't think any of those. War might be in front of us soon. We might be going to war with China. I don't know if that's too far off. A lot of stuff going on there, but. So that's probably my biggest concern right now. Economically, I actually don't have a major one that we're going to have huge problems. Ethi, I can pull up Ethi real quick. Ethi is going to be, it's a derivative of its underlying asset, Ethereum. So it's going to run hard. I could see it going up to 51.78. I don't know. I should build into this the discount to NAV, or the net asset value. Or is that what it is? Whatever. The narrative NAV. I think that's what it is. But it's basically, is it a premium or a discount, since it's not an ETF? Now it could be, we could be getting an ETF here by the summer, and Ethereum would be one of them. And so whatever that discount is, it would close, and you would get to benefit from that difference. So, but my whole point here is, I think we could see further upside. I think we could get to 51 on it, because I think Ethereum is getting ready to run to 6,000. I think it's parking under 4,000. Then it's going to start breaking out, and when it breaks out and really gets its feet going, it's going to move very quickly to 6. So this is going to be an easy 53. And this is kind of what my long-term peak, I had 234 on Ethi is what I believe the target will be at the end of the cycle, but that could be messed up. It could be higher if we get some of the numbers that like James is talking about from Invest Answers and some really smart people that I follow. All right. Let's see. SMR. I pulled this one up before, I think, so I'm going to look it up. Did I say that? I did say that. Okay. SMR. This one rings a bell. Yep. Okay. Oh yeah, New Scale Power. Okay, and these guys had a nice bounce, and they got above the fib, and they look like they were back testing. I'm gonna look at their financials real quickly to get myself reacquainted with it. But I mean, this is a nice thing that you want to see. You want to see this big drop and then going up. Now it has went up like over 300% or something, so it's already done well. I'm more excited about these when they suck. I mean, look at PayPal. That's what I'm excited about, guys. I'm excited about stuff that's down 80%. Oh, I guess it's up 200. It's up 3x. So my bad there. Let me go over though. We'll pull it up from the financial statement so I can try and reacquaint myself with it. Is this smart rent? Is that right? No, wait. SMR. Did I type something wrong? SMR. Maybe I typed that wrong. SMR. Oh, okay. Not that one. This one. Okay. New Scale Power. Revenues are going up, love it. Burning money, don't love that. 19 million, not crazy. They've got a 421 million dollar cap, 120% revenue growth. I like that. I don't love share dilution. Their cash is starting to burn down. I don't love that. It's only 117 million. So burning 19 is actually like a pretty big burn rate. What's the estimate on this? The estimate is to grow a lot. That's impressive. I would still like to see net incomes and EPS get better, but yeah, EBIT's dropping off tier 2. But the growth is good. But again, I don't like this I don't like the fact that expenses are going parabolic and revenues aren't. You don't want to see the gap widen in this way. You want to see it widen in the other. The purple should be lower, the blue should be higher. So I don't love this. It looks like a lot of it is R&D. I don't know what these guys do. It's renewables. It's got institutional ownership. So I pulled this one up before. I just don't love the layout right now. If their expenses start to table off, or if their cash gets a lot better, if their growth improves more, and maybe their net income can get to positive, I would be very excited about this. But since they've already recovered 200% or 3x from the bottom, I don't know. Maybe it could go higher. Maybe there's some kind of narrative there, but I don't think it really deserves it, right? Like they should start performing better. All right. JMIA. Jesse, can you take a look at this when you get a chance? Yes, I can, sir. Thank you, Satish, for being a member. I appreciate everybody who's a member, everybody who's joined the channel, everybody who's made it this long in my long rants. You guys are great. So thank you guys. All right. Jumia. That's an interesting name. Is this like African or something? I think I remember the name of this company for some reason. Let me go to the weekly and let me sort it by this real quick because it's all over the map. Ooh, it got decimated, didn't it? But it's getting back up there. It's testing that peak volume. Really wants to go higher. Interesting. Let me see what this is. I think it's a money loser, but I might know what this is. All right, JM. Was it JMIA? What was that number? JMIA. Okay. Jumia. All right. Revenues are dropping 11% year over year. So you can see like flat revenue growth. But here's what I like: their expenses are going down. Their R&D was completely dead last time. I don't know why that is. Maybe they don't need as much now. Their cash position is getting scary. I don't know why their shares aren't reporting. I'll have to check with Alejandro. But their cash is getting scary error, I should say. It's like 131 million. They're burning 19 million. That gives them like a 6-7 quarter burn rate, or I might have said months and other things. Quarter burn rate. Their EPS is getting better. EBIT's getting better. Stock-based comp has gotten smarter. They're not diluting as much, so they realize they need to keep this company from bleeding. But I just don't see any growth. It's in Berlin. Germany is gonna have a tough go of it. It's internet retail. I just feel like the German economy is going to struggle. There's some bad decisions made there, and they're really tied in with China, and China is a train wreck. So every dependency they have on China is going to be pain. I just think that there's better American companies to be invested in, and I don't like, again, the fact that revenue growth hasn't went anywhere. I think that's going to be a pain point. They're only a $694 million company. I think maybe they kind of deserve to be there. And we already had the peak in the RSI, the highest level that we'd seen since 2021. So I personally not totally excited about this company. Seems like Bitfarms is selling their Bitcoin so they can purchase more servers. I don't know if they are. They had the same number of Bitcoin I saw previously. I do think they're diluting shares to acquire more. And so there will be share dilution, which is pretty normal across all the miners right now. The real thing is, can they scale? Can they scale quickly? And they're a very efficient miner. Not as efficient as some, like Wolf and Cypher and a few others are more efficient, but that's all changing very, very quickly because some of these miners have a lot of new equipment coming. So those numbers are going to jockey around quite a bit. You're going to see different leaders. You need to follow Sebastian Ski on YouTube and on X, especially YouTube, because he's got a Patreon that gives you a breakdown of miners, and he does a really good job keeping up on all the numbers. So it gives you a really great view. Adobe's a great company. What's the valuation? $249 billion. How much cash are they pulling in right now? So let's just look at that and just do a quick scan here. So Adobe is like, this is just a great company. Cash continues to go up. Oh, by the way, the CEO of PayPal, did he come from Adobe? I can't remember. No, it was Intuit. Never mind. Different. Or is that Adobe Intuit? I don't know. I don't know anymore. I gotta look it up. Anyway, shares outstanding. You can see they're buying back shares. You can see operating expenses they're not going up a lot. Cash flow is decent. They're netting $1.5 billion a quarter. Their estimate is to grow revenue more and to see a really good Q1 for their EPS at least. So I don't know if they're just buying back a lot of stock or what their plans are, but they're looking good. And again, this is a steady Eddie. It's a great company. Now, $1.5 billion a quarter, maybe that's $2 billion or more this next quarter, 8% revenue growth year over year. I don't know. That's not bad. It's valuation might be a little steep. It's 45 on the PE. Like, I don't know. It might be a little steep, but I could see us hitting the high again. But again, you've also had a really great run from the 267. You've doubled your money. Do these guys do a dividend? They probably do. They feel like they do. Nope, they don't. Okay. All right, whatever. But I do think that you're going to start to hit some resistance here, and I'm not sure if we go over it. Good company, might, but there's just so many better asymmetric returns out there, honestly. ASML, please, Jesse. Okay, all right. ASML, let's pull it up. Boy, that's a run. Oh, I overwrote my Adobe. One sec, I did this wrong. So I need to go back, put my Adobe back, save that. I don't know if I have ASML, so let me pull it up. No. Let me go over here, make a copy. ASML. So some of these, when I have to first add them, it slows things down a little bit. But again, as I get better at knowing the stocks off the top of my head, some of them I'll barely even have to pull them up. These guys give a dividend. Pretty decent. I like that. It looks like we've already started running, right? Like we had this. Here's where I would draw this fib. I'm looking for a major trough, recent trough, previous high, other previous trough. I kind of do it backwards on a trend-based extension where I already think we've bottomed and I think we're going higher. But then you have to draw it this way. So you draw it from that, what you identified as the bottom, to the top, to the bottom. And we get a picture here. And it's an interesting one. It shows that we got past the golden retracement zone, the .618, which in Fibonacci terms is pretty beautiful. It means that it could go higher. Now, these guys do beat and exceed earnings, it looks like. That's all interesting. $410 billion market cap. Let's pull them up and see how much they're bringing in and what does the guidance look like. Because it needs to be good. It doesn't look bad. These guys are netting, is that 2.2 billion? Seems pretty fair. Decent valuation, pretty in line with what they're doing. Revenue growth 13% year over year. I don't like that their forecast is dropping. It could be seasonality. Yeah, it looks like seasonality maybe because it seems to be something. So they've got some seasonal drop, but year over year it's probably, well, no, year over year it's going to lose too. It looks more reminiscent of some older quarters. Because Q1 2023 didn't have this problem, right? So I don't know what the difference is. Maybe there is dilution? No, they're buying back shares. Anyway, they got some cash, they got some debt. I'd love the debt to go down. I'd love for them to grow a little bit more. It's just, it looks like a great company. The only thing I don't love is that it's just, its valuation is pretty good. 410 billion netting to 2.2. It just seems like a pretty decent valuation for what they got. So again, maybe it could go up here to the .786 at 12.26, but I don't think it would go much beyond that, honestly. DM'd you, but can you check short? Yeah, okay, so I'll check the short interest. Oh, I should make a note about that, Siraj. Siraj. Short interest. 1 second here. And STR. I'll try and remember that for next Monday when we do this again. You see Bloomberg Reporter talk about the Ethereum ETF. I did not, Cody, but I think there will be an Ethereum ETF. PayPal to $70 in the next earnings report, in my opinion, in May. I think 60 comes real quick. I think it could surpass 70. If in the next 3+ months we get to around the 90s, I can make $2 million. That's my preferred direction, or like 1.5 to 2 million, maybe more. That's just off my January 2025 calls. I've got over 6 figures now in 2026 as well. So yeah, probably a couple million, and I would love for that to happen. Hi Jesse, great session as usual. Can you please do the chart for AGIX? I don't know if I have it. It sounds familiar. I'm just going to check real quick. Oh, I do. Cool. All right, AGIX, and we've got our low to our high to our recent low, and we were able to find support off the .618. It looks like we're trying to go. We're up 3% again today. It looks like we're trying to make a run to $1.69. So that would be a level I would maybe trim at, unless there's a good reason not to. What is AGIX? Oh, is this it? Oh, it's a shitcoin. I can't look it up. Okay. Well, I mean, if it's got a good narrative behind it, I don't know its narrative, man, but I do like that it's seen some powerful strength, and it's had a hell of a run. It was 3 cents, and now it's $1.21. I mean, you can't hate that. This looks like one of the better shitcoins. I don't know. It's hard to know if it's going to retrace because I don't know the narrative behind it. Oh, here, let me get the right. Let me get up. I want to see how much this is actually run. It's probably a stupid number. So anybody who got this at the bottom is up 3,500%. Most people probably did not get it down there outside of insiders. That's a pretty good number. I'm hesitant to recommend buying anything that has went up 3,500%. I need to know a lot more about it. And I've kind of locked myself in with a lot of shitcoins. I might do some research on this one. I might just to see what it's about. But I would look for like a major retracement personally before I jumped into something like that, because again, it's just so high. Great as usual. Can you please do the chart for AGIX, Sana, IPSC? I think I'm gonna keep this. I don't know if you're an alpha or what you are. I'll pull up one more for you. But if you're gonna ask for 3 charts, yeah, better be a whale. Okay, that's what I request here, because a whale can get 3 in a day. Alpha male or female can get, or an alpha, I should have just called it alpha, but they can get 2 in a day. But I'm just gonna, so next time though, you got to tell me you're one of those, and then I will look after the stream to make sure that you are. So do not lie to me. It is not a good decision. All right, so we ran pretty decent on Sana. I don't remember Sana's. Oh, I overwrote this. Let me fix this real quick. Let's save this other chart. I don't know. I screwed that one up, but I'll fix it later. All right. Or no, I think I have Sana. Let me look it up here. Sana. All right, there we go. Let's look at it here. So it's under the fib. It's ran pretty good. Let's look at it from a financial standpoint and see where it's at, because when something's ran, if something was down a lot, then cool, I can draw it and I can be like, oh, hey, we're likely to go to the first fib, so here it is. But these guys, oh, they're a biotech. I forgot about that. Okay, so they have 20% short interest. People think they're going to fail. They're burning cash at $113 million a quarter. They have very little money left. 3/4 they're bankrupt unless they dilute shares massively. I'm not interested. That's where I'm at with Sana. These guys need to make money, or have an influx. If you know, like, they're coming up with a product and they're going to be worth a shit ton, cool. Oh my God, there's so many requests. MSTR visual stocks showing 17.1% short interest per MSTR. Okay. And I don't know if that's right or wrong. I'm assuming it's right. Alejandro stuff's pretty good. There will be a movie about Sailor. Yes, there will be a movie about Sailor. All right, let's look at Microsoft. I might not get through this full list, guys. But did I have? Let me make sure I typed this in the right place. Oh, I thought I had Microsoft, man. What the heck? All right, let me save it. It's a good thing they let me save a lot of tickers. I haven't ran into a limit yet, so that's good. I've ran into a limit of what I can open. And I probably have 200 tabs open right now, so I have physical limits on my computer too. I don't know, man. Microsoft is such a juggernaut. You get a dividend. It's just like, let me see where the bottoms are, though. Let me draw a fib-based trend extension on this going back to 2020. So I go back to 2020 because, again, like I said before, we got a pretty clear indication that this was the bottom. This was the previous top. This was the other major bottom, right? I think we can all agree that the pandemic was kind of a thing. And then we've got this. I'm going to move it over, though. It's important. Okay. I'm going to lock it. So what's interesting here? What's interesting is we have not backtested the golden fib. We've actually just kept going higher. I do find that interesting. I might have to, this one might be a little weird, wonky. I might have to adjust it some. Might have to eliminate some wicks. But, okay, so how are we doing with Microsoft? They just make so much money. This thing's just such a juggernaut. This is just the one you own. I don't even know if there's really much to look at from a technical standpoint. Here's what they have going for them. They're not Apple. They're not Google. On top of that, they have a net income of $22 billion a quarter. And that number looks like it's going to maintain, at least from their EPS projections and their revenue projections. And when you have $22 billion, you know what these guys could do that would really just make them even more stupid rich? Start buying Bitcoin. They need like a 0.5% allocation of Bitcoin on their treasury now that the FASB rules are in effect. Look at their gaming revenue shot up so much. Jesus. But again, this is what you're signing up for Visual Stocks, my friend's site. Look at the extra metrics you get here, broken down by cloud revenue, subscribers, gaming revenue. Like, Alejandro does a good job, man. He gives you a lot of data, ratios. Like, I don't even look at half the ratios. Look at these key charts, though. Azure growth, Office 365. Like, this is just such great stuff. I don't know what to tell you here. It's probably going to keep going up. As long as the economy does well, our next big major move is up to the 450s because it's Microsoft and they just make money. All right. KLG, please. All right. All right, I can do KLG. I'm probably getting to the point where I'm going to call it here soon, guys. I went a little longer than I normally do, but I am going to try and make it through a few more of these real quick. And then I think I'm going to have to bail. So I do apologize. I think a few of you are getting on your second turn anyway, though. So I don't feel too bad for that crew. Unless you're a whale. If you're a whale or an alpha, you got to tell me. Put the dollar next to the stock that you're requesting. And then, wow, Kellogg's. Kellogg's? Is this the food? Is this my cereal? I haven't had Frosted Flakes in so long, and I'm hungry. You guys are killing me. All right. This can't be. It doesn't have an old enough chart, right? Let me say this real quick. I'm just gonna look this up, see what the heck it is. KLG. Oh, so hungry. Oh, dyslexic. KLG. Eh? Oh, I might have to just say Kellogg. Is it Kellogg Co? Are these my boys? Is this my Frosted Flakes? Oh, I'm so hungry. Okay. No, this isn't the same, is it? What is KLG? Can you tell me what KLG is? I'm not finding it. I need like the full name. I'm doing something wrong. WK. Maybe I should type that in. WKKLG. WKKLG. WK Kellogg. WK. I don't know. Maybe this one isn't on here. It's too obscure. I'm sorry. I can't pull it up. All right. Let me see here. I am hungry and I gotta eat. So I'm super sorry for anybody I didn't get to today. I'm sorry. I'll try and eat before I do these going forward so I can do like a mega stream and get a couple of hours in or something. If I did not get you, then what I would ask you do is before the next stream, I fire these up in the morning, put your stuff at the top, and everybody, please be kind. If you're a starter pack, like Young Dave, who just signed up, thank you, Young, then please ask for one stock in a session. Please just be courteous of other people that are supporting the channel. And if you're an alpha, you get 2. And if you're a whale, you get 3. Please be respectful of that so that everybody gets an opportunity. I won't try and micromanage this too much in the beginning, but if I think that people are starting to abuse it and I will start to review chat, then I'm going to start saying something, okay? So, but otherwise, I love you guys. I hope everybody has a great weekend. I think that we're set up for great things, and I hope everybody is able to enrich themselves quite a bit over this next year because I'm excited, and I hope you are too. You guys take it easy. Have a great rest of your day. And like I